Hi there. So I won't start this video off with yelling at my dog. I just realized I posted something else where the first thing out of my mouth was, "Stop it!" He doesn't bark very often, but man, when he does, he scares the hell out of me because he's just a big, loud dog. He can be, but mostly he's quiet. Anyway, um, learning theory. So for some of you, this is not gonna, you're gonna feel like it doesn't apply, and that's okay. So, because there are people in the group that are in 120, 140, even 160, and that's all right. For those of you who are in 160, I challenge you to leave this group behind and let's go over to the exit speeds, because even if you don't think you're at exit speeds, having your brain in a place where it will become familiar with the new ways of thinking, and because it is a different way of thinking when you're in theory compared to early speed building, compared to middle speed building, compared to high speed building, and then even astronomically high speed building, world record breaking kind of stuff, challenging yourself to do the speed contests at the annual and local um, conventions. That's a different animal. That's a different mindset. And know where you are, accept that, and then push to find out what's coming next. What can I make familiar so that it feels more comfortable? This is why people used to, before road trips, pull out a map and look at visually, where am I going? Not just to where am I going, but, okay, from here to here, it's going to take about this many hours, this many miles. How many miles per tank of gas can I give? So how many times am I going to stop for gas? Is that going to be an overnight trip? Is it going to be a straight through? These are things that your brain is doing to try to make the trip familiar before the trip happens. So anything you can do to make this trip more familiar will get you faster results, because then there will be nothing necessarily holding you back from going as fast as you can within the safe speed limits of where you're going. And I challenge you guys also, the ones of you, you don't know what you don't know, but if you're in a college situation setting, please don't take on the time parameters that the college is giving you. When they tell you that this semester we're going to work on this, and then next semester we're going to work on this. Because what if you're just a speed demon, and without somebody putting a governor on you, you could just fly through school? Okay, do you want the college certification, the diploma, the 2 year degree? Do you need it? Do you want it? Or are you here to become a court reporter? There's no right or wrong answer. Back in my day, there was only private court reporting schools. There was get in, learn your theory, get fast, get certified, get out, start working. And anything else just was holding you back from becoming what you started out to be. And so if you don't be kicking yourself that, oh, I'm in a college program and I shouldn't be. No, get what you can get out of it. I'm just saying, don't be held back. If you're at the end of a semester and they're freaking you out and telling you you have to pass or you won't go into the next class, you'll have to take this again. Okay, that's enough to give you enough stress to not pass a test. So please get a hold of me, because there's ways to get around that crap. But on the other hand, if you can't pass, I'm just going to pull number at 100. That doesn't mean you're not getting faster. You may not be able to quantify how much faster you are, but if you are pushing for higher speeds, and every time you push for higher speeds, your accuracy is going to drop. And that's just the way that equation works. But there are schools that will tell you, oh, accuracy, and yeah, I do get dramatic because it pisses me off. Accuracy above speed. And that's one way to do it. If you want to get really, really, really good at 120 and really, really, really accurate at 120, you're going to be really, really, really good at 120. And you are never, with that attitude and that practice, never going to get really good and really accurate at 140 until you allow yourself to take that next laborious step in that scheme of thought. And that is going to be a really slow way to get out of school, because there are others out there, and you wonder, how are they passing tests? Well, maybe they're not killing themselves to be accurate. Like, I have a finger that drags and drops, and I have a thumb that sometimes hits the A and sometimes doesn't, and I have to be consciously aware of it, because left to its own devices, it does all kinds of crap. But even on fast days, when I'm not paying attention to it, I can read through my notes because I'm practiced at realizing what comes out sometimes when I'm going really fast. Now, if I just stayed at 200 and got really, really good and really, really accurate at 100, I would never be able to hit bursts of speed when those fucking attorneys hit 260 words a minute, and I look up at my little speedometer and it has hit 300 words a minute, and it will only be there for a second or two or three if I'm lucky, and then it will drop back down into writable, parameters. But if I don't have the practice of trying to hit really high speeds, really high fast speeds, even not accurately, if I haven't tried to do that, then when I'm in 200 and I'm out in the field and the attorney starts talking really fast, I'm just going to freak out, stop, freeze, and lose it. And I would rather have sloppy notes that I can read through, that I can get something for everything and keep going, knowing that I can figure this stuff out because I'm practiced at reading through my garbage. And those are two different schools of thought, but I have seen it out in the field working, that people who push for high speeds, the accuracy follows. I mean, if you're at 200 and you're trying to pass 200s and you're practicing at 240 and 260, which sounds ridiculous, and it kind of is, but your accuracy at 100, 120, 140, 160 is cleaning up like it never was when you were at those speeds. Because if you were smart, you were just hanging on for dear life, trying to get to the next speed and the next speed and the next speed. And your accuracy will pull along behind you, and stuff will clean up at lower speeds as you're pushing for higher speeds. And I have literally worked with people who have said to me with a straight face, I can't do that. I cannot practice at high speeds because it's so ugly and it's so awful, and it's not supposed to be good. If the speed you're trying to test at is supposed to be good, everything past that is going to be sloppier than good, because you're pushing for it. You're pushing. They used to, pushing the envelope. You're pushing the boundaries of space and time and how fast your brain can think and respond, and it's just going to be different. But work on both, work on high speeds and then drop down and hit some stuff and work on accuracy. And you'll be surprised that as you're, and I'm just going to hypothetically pull out speeds, to desensitize you to the fact that you need to start talking about things like 160, 180, 200, 225, 240, 260, 280. Because if you demystify them, they become accessible. Demystify all of it. Challenge yourself, if you're in 100 words a minute, to, and if you can't find any, let me know, but to find a take that's 200 words a minute, to hear what it sounds like. Because I was surprised when I was in school and I had gotten into, I don't know, the high speeds. I think I was in 160. And one day, I said to myself, gosh, oh Molly, golly, I wonder what it would be like in that big high class where they're trying to hit the California State qualifiers and they're doing 10 to 12, 15 minutes at 200 words a minute with 4 people talking. God, I wonder what that sounds like. I wonder how fast that is. And as I stood there at the door, and I could have gotten in trouble, but I stood there at the door listening, trying to figure out, I got to turn my, remember to turn your phone off, Carrie. There we go. Silent mode on. As I stood there at the door, there was part of me that said, oh my God, the part of me that had been practicing at 160, 140, 160, a little bit into 180, it said, oh my God, that's so fast. Oh my God, that's so fast. Will I ever be able to write that fast? And then I sat there for a bit longer. And I got out of steno mode and I got into just listening to the conversation that was happening between the 4 people, because there was a questioning attorney and a witness, and then sometimes the judge would pop in and do a ruling and the other attorney would object. And so there was a scene unfolding in front of me. And as I just listened to that, there was a part of me that stood back and said, well, this isn't fast. This is just how people talk. And sometimes people get excited and talk a little faster. And sometimes they come back to thinking about what they're saying and talk a little slower. And sometimes when they're in the middle of a sentence and they don't quite know where they're going with the rest of the sentence, they pause because they're thinking. And there's a flow and a cadence and a rhythm to regular, normal speech, which we don't hear a lot of in school because we're hearing this bullet delivery of word, 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 because they want to keep it at a certain words per minute. And so it's really important to practice also on live, real stuff. Get in front of the television, find a talk show, find a podcast with 2 people talking, and even if it's not writable, do it, because it will make your brain more familiar with hearing things faster. You can only write as fast as you can hear. And so give yourself, an hour, however often you think you deserve a break, an hour a week, maybe broken up into 4 15-minute segments, to just listen, to something being spoken really, really fast without trying to write it, without even trying to write it in your head, to just hear it, to just listen to it, to give your brain and your ears an opportunity to learn to hear faster, to learn to identify words and patterns and parts faster, because the faster it can hear something, the faster you can write it. It gives you more time, more response time between hearing it and writing it, which is kind of why voice writers seem to be getting out of school faster. They're getting the technique down faster, but you're learning a whole lot more in steno type. And I can't even quantify that here right now. But in voice, you're basically hearing it and saying it at the same time. Try it for a second. As you hear my voice saying the words that I'm saying, you're hearing them in your head. Try to literally say them out loud as I'm saying them. And you will realize that there's no translation process. There's no how do I write that, because you know how to speak English. You know how to hear English. You know how to speak English. With them, it's just a matter of staying on each word and going as fast as the speaker, being able to enunciate to a point that you can understand what you were trying to say, that your equipment, your translation software can understand what you're trying to say. That is why it's faster. And please don't be put off by getting certified with voice. If you feel like you've been stuck for a very long time when you get up into the 140, 160 speeds, try it. The worst that can happen is you put it's not that much of an investment, but you put that equipment online and say, nope, I'm going to stick with my steno. Or like a lot of other people have done, they've become certified in voice, out in the field working, and are still after that steno type certification. Because in the state of California, which kind of surprised me, once you're certified, I mean, I'm certified behind the machine, but I cannot legally go out in the state of California, even if I knew how to do it very, very, very fast, and work with a mask and write and do voice writing in a work setting, because I'm not certified to do that with my machine, with a voice setup. I'm certified in stenotype. And conversely, if you're certified as a voice writer, you can't just take your machine, even if you're really, really good and fast at it, and go doing demos, because if somebody finds out in the state of California, they will take your license. They will strip the license you have and bar you from reporting. So you have to be certified in whichever modality you're using, which is why I get so angry when I hear about digital reporters, because they don't have to be certified at all, and our board in the state of California allows them, without much wrist slapping, to do what they do. And it angers me, because I feel like, well, wait a minute. If I wasn't certified, you couldn't discipline me, so maybe that's what I should do, and I could just do it however I want to. And anyway, there's a honorary part of me that tells, that's what part of what makes great court reporters, that part of you that says, don't tell me what I can't do. But I'm telling you, you need to be certified in a manner to capture the record, and then once you are, you can start making money at it, and get better and better at it, and as you get better at it, you make more money at it, which is why, yeah, after 40 years of reporting, it's an easier thing for me to do. I still have challenging days, of course I do, but I'm so familiar with what could be coming at me that it doesn't take me off my game usually. And knowing what you can do and how long it takes you to do it, and staying on top of the record and writing punctuation when you're in that moment, gets you better notes, gets you a faster transcript, gets you faster turnaround, and allows you to jump back out in the field and take another job. And that's how you start making a whole lot more money. Doing the things that other people are afraid of doing, rough drafts, real time, daily turnaround. And it sounds daunting right now, but I'm going to keep pushing it at you so that you say, oh yeah, I've heard heard those words, and I'm going to challenge you to sit in. If you can't find anybody else to sit in with me. You don't have to do anything. You like show up. We put, intern and your name in the Zoom box, and I introduce you to the attorneys as a new reporter, which you are, who's interning to become familiar with the Zoom platform, which you are, and then you turn off your camera, you mute your mic, and I don't know what you're doing. You could be crocheting a blanket over there for all I know, and I don't care, but you're getting the experience of seeing what's a deposition look like. Oh my God, they're talking really fast. Is Carrie actually staying on top of that? Oh wait, no, look, she interrupted them. Oh wait, she didn't hear something. She had them say it again. Oh, they just asked her to read the question back. How did she do that? That's the stuff I want you to become familiar with. It will take you miles down the road faster when you know where you think you're going, and your brain decides it's not going to kill you, so it's going to be okay. Anyway, that's what I have for you today. Believe in yourself, push yourself, become familiar with the unfamiliar. It will change your life in all aspects, not just court reporting. This journey that you're on, you think it's about becoming certified behind a machine to be out in the world making money, and it is. But the journey is so much deeper and bigger and wider than you could ever imagine. The you that's going to come out the other end of this journey, you're not even going to recognize that person. And that's a good thing. It's amazing what this struggle and this journey will turn you into the most amazing version of yourself. I love you guys. Take care. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you again soon.